Hey everybody, I'm Braden Miller. I'm a Norvise ambassador, and here's my fly, the cardiac arrest. So it's a articulated streamer pattern. It imitates natural forages like bluegill, shad, and any baitfish species you really want to imitate. All you gotta do is just swap around the material colors and sizes and everything like that. This fly is done well for largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, snakehead. It'll be fine for anything that wants to eat up small bait fish. Alright, so let's go ahead and start tying. So today I'm on my Norvise with my legacy hubs and blue anodized vise. So what I did there was I swapped out my standard jaws to my fine point jaws just so I can grip this shank better. Get that even in there. You can use 210 denier, 140 power thread, or what I like to use just 100 denier GSP. So get a good thread base going. Go. So your first material is going to be a dragon tail. This is the micro dragon tail from Hairline. So just go ahead and get that sized up to what you want. I try to not have them long. I like them fairly short because I want a like a bluegill, kind of like short, wide profile baitfish body. So I cut that down, took off some material, exposing the cotton cord, and that just helps you get a better tie-in. Clean that up a little bit. Gonna try to close up this flyman shank. There we go. Alright, so your next material is going to be hen saddle. This is just to be like a filler to finish off this shank. So I like to start with two and then go from there. So two of them placed directly on top of each other. Go a little way into the fuzz on the feather. Strip the rest off. Cut them even. So I'm gonna line them up tip to tip. Grab both at the same time. Pull back the fibers. Alright. Then cut a small triangle in them. That just helps with your tie-in point. There we go. I cut these stems even just so when I'm tying I don't slip off of one while I'm trying to hold another. Just helps keep everything kind of even. So when I'm wrapping this up, I don't want to wrap them directly on top of each other. Kind of want to space them out. Doesn't make a super dense body, which is what I want. Fills it out better and you get more space out of the two feathers. Take two more. And these feathers don't have to be big at all. I mean, these are some of my smaller ones. There we go. And then we're going to, beans are not going to have a lot of room to use a lot. I'm going to try to use some of the bigger, longer parts of this feather. There we go. Alright. So, forgot to mention as I'm going forward with these feathers, I'm stroking back the fibers so I don't trap any, even though I'm still going to come through and pick it out with a comb. So I like to go all the way up to the shank eye. So there we go, trap that. 3 behind, 3 in front, and then snip that off. Come through with a comb. Make sure you got every one pulled out. There we go. Alright. Now we're going to whip finish. Snip off my thread. Alright. Bring my thread over to my thread post. This is Nor-vise bone dry. So it's a super thin UV resin, just as a like a coating over top of your thread wraps. Dries super quick. The UV hensail is super bright. There we go. That's just your tail. It's super simple, easy. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, so this dragon tail, if you don't fix them with something or glue them, they don't tend to last super long. They fall apart, unravel, just over time, fishing and casting and everything from them tends to just break them down. So I like to take Loctite, put it on the tip, and then you wind it on. And then this is Nor-vise Flex, and I'll take that and put that directly on the tip of the dragon tail. And that kind of makes sure none of this is going to just get pulled off the back. And that's good to go. Alright. Oh, forgot one thing. Gonna take this, so this is a 25mm shank that I cut. Open that a little bit. Take these pliers, flip it on. That's gonna be your connection. Alright, so super quick. Changing out my jaws from my fine point to my standard jaws right there. And I'm going to take a Gamakatsu B10S stinger hook. And put those in the jaws. So I want to get a quick thread base going, so I'm going to use the Norvise spin a thread base. And that's just going to help everything from the materials to this connection to grip. So like I said, this 25mm shank is going to be your connection. It's just a quick and easy process with this. Just line it up, tie it in. I want it to stay on top. I mean, that's bulletproof, being there's no hook in the back. Nothing's gonna rip this off or anything. So, place that back in there. Take this clip real quick. Put that in. Alright, so your next material is going to be this polar reflector flash from Hairline. I've used a couple other materials. Started off tying this with the polar chenille, or the UV polar chenille, which is got some flash in it. It's a flat synthetic, just like this, just not as flashy. I like this a lot. Both the polar chenille and the polar reflector flash don't really bulk up the body as much as, say, the filler flash from Hairline. I've used that before too, and that bulks it up a lot, and you can build up a really full body with that. But really, it doesn't matter. You can use either of them. If I really want a flashy one, that filler flash or this polar reflector flash looks really good. So, schlop and feather right there. Take the tip, cut it off, pull that back, and what you're gonna do with this feather and the polar reflector flash is you're going to do a complex twist. So bring my thread all the way up. Alright, so now that you've got your polar reflector flash, or your polar chenille or filler flash, and your schlop and feather here, so I've taken the fibers on this feather and I've pulled them out, just splayed them out. That's going to help with this twisting process. And you line them up directly on top of each other, and all you do, you can use a dubbing loop tool or your hands, but like I'm doing with my hands here, all I'm doing is twisting. Alright, so about halfway done, I like taking a wire brush and going through it all, picking out the fibers, making sure none are getting trapped up in it. You can also use a bodkin or a dubbing pick or whatever you might want. The tip of your scissors, but you just gotta be careful of that stem on the schlop and feather. But with this process, what it does, it intertwines the two materials, and that stem on the feather just becomes really, really durable when you wrap it. Pick it out one more time. Just not really digging through it, just going easy on it. Alright, so tying down the tension on my vise, and as I wrap, same thing with that hen saddle. Pulling back the fibers. Again, they don't need to be directly on top of each other. You just want to build the body. There we go. Almost done. But you can see I left a little bit of that longer, fuzzier fibers on that schlappen feather. Hold that in my left hand, take my bobbin, make sure I'm not going to really be trapping anything over top my material there. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Snip that off. So I'm going to come through now, just a dubbing pick, or a comb I mean, and pluck out anything I might have trapped. There you go. But like you can see there, it blends everything together, and you got natural materials in there, you've got synthetic and flash. I love the look about it. So I'm going to tie back onto it just a tad, just because I want to add a little bit more of schlappen onto it. Alright, so just going to pick another feather. You don't have to do this, but if you want, just to fill up that one little bit there. Pluck all this super big fluffy stuff. You do not want that. So just a short webby feather that you really can't use on that complex twist kind of stuff, but you can use it as a filler on top. Like so. So you just stroke back the fibers, and right now I'm making pretty much just touching wraps. Come through, pick that out, but like you can see there, it's just filling it up more, and you have that flash really coming in through the back, and every now and then you can see it bleeding through that mid body of it. But like, you're done with the body now. I mean, all you've got left is the head. So for the head now, you're just going to take some hairline, sinuous laser dub. Right now I've got the hot pink color. You use very small amounts of this at a time. So I pluck it out. Now I'm just stacking, placing it right on top of each other. That's just going to align the fibers and get like the maximum length out of them as you can get. Like that, directly on top. 3, 4 tight wraps. And you just leave that out, going out to the front. Now you go to your belly, and you're going to do the same thing. 2, 3, 4. So got it going out the back, you got it going out the front. So so the hook's still going up. You pull it back at the bottom, stack going forward. Do the same thing, a couple reps in front. Gonna do that 2 more times on each side. Just the head's gonna bleed into the like the back end of the body. Alright. Same thing as before, stacking it and placing it on top of each other, pulling out the super long stuff right there. Alright, so I've got that next stack on top, your second stack on top done for the belly. We're going to go in, do the same exact thing again. And guess what we're going to do next? The same thing. Again. So, just make sure you're really not using too much material. Small stacks. One on top of the other. Pull back the bottom, pull back the top. There we go. And that's just getting out all the short fibers. Alright, super small stacks on the very front now, just to fill it up. Here we go. Top is done. Bottom. 4 tight wraps. So now, try to get in front of that stack. Right there. There we go. Snip off your thread. Bring my thread over to my thread post there. And now I'm going to pick this out really good. Pull out some really long fibers. Same thing for the bottom. Pull out the really long ones. So the idea behind this pattern is you want a tall, flat profile, and the eyes are pinching the body or the head together. The resin is going to like this. The resin and that hinge on the back. This tail holds water, so when you strip it, the tail wants to hold back, and the body hinges and glides. It's got a very, very good glide to the pattern. I think that's the main trigger showing its profile. So, Loctite gel control super glue, middle of the body right there. Dead center between the stacks on top and bottom. I want to say these are 7mm eyes. Sick. Here we go. There's that one. Gonna place that one right there. Just pinching them together. Alright. Put the cap on my glue. Look for my bodkin. Clean out any super glue that I pull out. Just because I'm about to put some resin in. Alright, so right now is really where you can determine how high or low you want your profile to be. It's going to be pinched flat like you can see there. So this is the, again, Solares Flex. Alright, we're just going to apply it around the head and the eyes. Try not to do a super thick coating, just because that tends to not make a super, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a fly that hovers or suspends. This fly is really good at suspending, so if you apply too much, it gets head heavy and wants to dive on its paws. So get the profile that you want, really. Take my bodkin, I'm gonna smooth this out. Alright. Just curing that. There you go. That's the cardiac arrest. Great bait fish imitation for small, short, profiled bait fish. Tall profiles like bluegill, gizzard shad. You could do a threadfin shad pattern in it. Really anything that you want. You can take markers to the dubbing. You can put bars on it like a bluegill, a yellow perch, a dot on the cheek, like a shad or whatever. And you can do anything you want. So thank you all for watching. I had fun doing this for y'all. And yep, there's the cardiac arrest. If you would like, you can follow me on Instagram at MillerTimeFlies, Facebook at Braden Miller, and my website at MillerTimeFlies.com. Thank you all for watching.